Duke has 2 losses already this season, and yet they've got a very real shot at making the ACC title game. This is a trap that a lot of people fall for, specifically in the ACC, because on paper, a lot of the schedules don't look that difficult. Heck, just a couple of weeks ago, people were talking about Cal's ACC dark horse chances, which I never thought were very real, but with Duke, I think it's a different conversation. First off, they're actually a really good team, coming off of a 9-win season. You look at their 2 losses thus far, Illinois looks a little lopsided, a tough loss on the road versus Tulane, but both of these teams have proven to be pretty dang good teams, and if you look at the net success rate, Duke actually had a better game profile in both of those games, meaning their post-game win expectancy actually favored them. They just turned the ball over, they were sloppy, something that they've actually cleaned up in the last couple of games. A decisive win over NC State, a blowout victory over Syracuse and Cal. They look pretty good. The critical part about Duke's losses is neither of them were in conference play. They're 3-0. They're already near the top of the conference standings. And yes, Miami looks unstoppable at this point. They're expected to be in the ACC title game. Duke doesn't play them. And you look at the other top contenders. Virginia has looked very vulnerable at times. In fact, they've lost to an NC State team that Duke just beat. Georgia Tech is a team that almost lost at Wake Forest. They're certainly not invulnerable to a loss. Louisville looks flawed this season. Florida State has already taken 2 conference losses on the season. There's a lot of wiggle room here for Duke to weasel their way to the top of the standings. And if you do hone back in on their schedule, these are all winnable games for Duke. They don't even have to beat UConn because it's non-conference. They get a host of Virginia team that's had a spotty defense. They've been great and opportunistic, though. They get a host of Wake Forest team that's not very good. North Carolina looks awful. Georgia Tech has been flawed at times, especially on the road. That's a winnable game. And even at Clemson, with how bad the Tigers have looked at times, Duke has a real shot here in a path. And even considering all this, they could probably lose a conference game still. So tell your friends about ACC title-bound Duke, because I think it is a very real possibility given how good this team has looked and played and what they have ahead of them on the schedule.